Alright guys, I'm gonna go over the different types of seasonal work. So obviously my content is specifically geared towards um, parkies, which means that you're working for the concession companies and national parks, not for the government. I personally don't know what they refer to themselves as, if they still say that they're parkies or if they just work for the NPS. I don't know. But these are all the different kinds of seasonal work that you can do. Most of them either come with accommodations and food, or you have to pay for them. And it depends the location and the company how much you're gonna have to pay, but usually it does come out of your paycheck. So first is work camping. Usually this is in exchange for accommodation and food. I haven't heard of people working full-time and having to exchange, but I've heard of people working part-time. And most of the time it's for people that have RVs and they give them a free hookup site to stay at. As far as food, I don't know. You could connect with other people about that. Volunteer work, so this is like mission trips or at retreats, events, centers, usually, yeah, like nonprofits or organizations or like hostels, places like that. The next is at ski resorts. So these jobs are paid and they usually come with housing and food, but it depends on what ski resort you're working for, how much the cost for your housing and food will be. As far as I know, if you're working for ski resorts, amusement parks, the government, and concession companies, once you get into a supervisor or management level or higher, the housing is and food can be cheaper or completely comped, depending on if you're in management, have a specialized position that you had to have a special degree for or certificate, and if you're like a management or director, how much of it is comped, or if food is just comped, or if housing is just comped, or like how much they end up taking out of your paycheck. So ski resorts, amusement parks, for the government, this is going to be on like USA, what is it, usajobs.com or .gov. I'll go over like where to find these next. And then for concession companies and the national parks. All right, so here's the different kinds of parkie work, depending on if you're a student or maybe you want to keep your full-time job and you have breaks, or maybe you have part-time jobs, or you have a residence that you don't want to completely move out of. So there's different options here depending on what you want to do, how you want to live, where you want to live, and how you want to work, what hours you want to work, what seasons you want to work. It all depends on what you prefer. So first we have seasonal. This is a majority of parkies. They do seasonal full-time work, which means it's anywhere between 3 and 5 month full-time contract, depending on location and season. You actually may be required to work mandatory overtime, so keep that in mind. During holidays, weekends, just be ready to work whenever you're needed. There's seasonal part-time, so if you're retired or part of like a helping hands program like in Yellowstone National Park, they kind of have you work X amount of hours and then you are pretty much there as almost like a work camp situation, like you work in exchange for an RV spot. I don't know what other parks do this, but they might. And then there's year-round full-time. So these are people that live and work year round, full time, either at one specific location in the park, or they're just attached to a region or the company, um, and maybe like you stay full time but transfer between properties every season. There's year round flex, which means usually you get a month break between each season. So normally you'll have like full time benefits or similar benefits, still have housing, um, but you have a month off between each season to rest, recover, relax, whatever you want to do. Then year round part time. Some companies may do this if they're closer to what we call town or a normal city. This might be available for, like anyone. It just depends on the park, the location, and their needs. So if you don't want to up and quit your job, you can just do something seasonal, and then go back home or go back to wherever you'd like. If you do want to completely change careers and dive full force into being a parkie, making this like a new lifestyle, your career, your home, I would definitely recommend getting into year-round full-time so that you can start off getting benefits and accruing vacation, sick time, and your hours like quicker. And then there's season to season. Some people, depending on the position, they'll go, if you find two properties and two companies that you really love, they'll do one season, let's do example, one season in Glacier, summer Glacier National Park, winter season down in Florida Keys, or Arizona, and then go back and forth between the two properties. And between the two seasons, either have a break, travel. You'll oftentimes meet a lot of people from other countries, and sometimes, if you're lucky, they become your friends and family and they host you. I have done this before. During my break between seasons, I was able to go to Turkey, and my friend and his family hosted me.